yo, dudes, these NASCAR drivers are pretty chill. You should, like, root for them or something.
Welcome to the Let's Go Racing Family podcast, sharing our love for NASCAR, running, and just racing through life.
Hosted by Sebastian, Giovanni, Karen, Tony, and me, Johan.
Each week we'll talk about our view of the world through the lens of racing.
You know, guys, I've been thinking. We started this podcast back in 2020 during the COVID pandemic, and it's crazy how much time has passed, because back during that time, you were an elementary school student, Johan. Gio, you were a middle school student, and I was a sophomore in high school.
Yeah, it is weird. I've been thinking about that. Like, it's funny too. I'll go back, and whenever I'm like telling my friends about the podcast, they'll be like, "Oh, how long have you been doing it?" And I'll be like, "Oh, we've been doing it since like COVID." And then they'll go back to the very first episode and they'll listen, and I'll just have to cringe at my own much more high-pitched voice, and I sound like this, and now I sound how I do now. And it's just funny. Even listening to our intro before we start recording, it's like, oh my word, we sound so much younger in that one. Even Mom sounds different in that. Like, everybody just sounds different. So going back from where we started, like just doing audio podcasts, I think on a dining room table is where we started, to like now, is really cool. We've gotten a lot of really dope stuff out of it. So I'm really happy. I think it's been fun. But yeah, it is really cool to see just where we've gotten to and how far we've come.
Yeah, and now, Johan, you're the one in middle school. Gio's a senior in high school, which we'll get more on that in a bit. And then I'm a second-year student in college at the University of Central Florida. And thanks to UCF, I'm part of the marching nights, so I get to play at all the football games. In the spring, I play with the Jammin' Nights with the basketball games. I have an amazing job as an orientation leader. And now I'm getting into that point where my film classes are going to be me like actually being on film set. I was even on a film set a few weeks ago, my first ever film set. And it was just such an amazing experience. And to think that I couldn't have imagined that was going to be my college life back when we started this podcast. But speaking of college, Gio, you're a high school senior.
Yeah, that's the time. I've been already starting to apply to a bunch of colleges. I have 5 out of my 7 done. And it's funny because at first I wasn't even going to apply to that many. And then I just started adding a few more at the end, or like recently, because I was like, you know what? These look like good colleges. These look like good universities for me to attend. Because, I mean, ultimately my goal, right, is to be a race car driver. You guys know this. And like, just because of how we are, I'm going to be honest, we're not super rich to the point where we can just, fund my own career, and even Johan's later on, have us go, like, I'm not racing an ARCA right now. I'm not even doing weekly series. I'm on iRacing, and I'm grinding out there, and I'm learning what I can, and just like doing stuff there. So it's like I have to find my own unique path, and it's something I've kind of realized is going to be difficult for me, or not difficult, but it's going to be a challenge to get to like my dream of racing. And part of my unique path, I think, is going to be going to university, going to college, which is something I was surprised a lot of like crew chiefs and drivers, I was surprised a lot more crew chiefs and drivers actually did. Not as much drivers, but a lot of the crew guys definitely did. Like, a lot of them have degrees in and mechanical engineering, and I think even Ryan Newman, right? It was Ryan Newman.
I think he went to Purdue.
Yeah, he went to Purdue. Funny off of my shirt, but like him, he was a driver and had a degree, which is something that's really rare, I guess. I mean, I know Eric Amarola went to school, but
he went to UCF.
Yeah, he went to UCF.
Yep.
He didn't
go
finish.
Knights, charge on.
Yeah, I know Sebastian's definitely more passionate about UCF, but yeah, I'm applying to a few colleges right now.
I mean, you are going to join me at UCF, right?
I mean, maybe. It's one of my top 3. I'll give you that. You know that
top
already.
Top 3. What else could be better than the University of Central Florida?
Okay, so I have Vanderbilt. I had the chance to visit Vanderbilt with Dad when we went to Tennessee last summer. That was really cool. Their campus is absolutely beautiful, very historic. They call it the Harvard of the South, and they have a really good engineering program there. And they're one of the top, I think it was like top 10 universities in the nation. I have to double check the list, but I think it's top 10 university in the nation. And they just have a lot of, like, they have a really good curriculum there. They're close to our friends, the Larsons. I'd be up in Nashville and, you know, Music City. They have some racing up there. I mean, they have the track. They have the Nashville Fairgrounds, Super Speedway. So there's still racing up there. But getting a degree from a very prestigious university like Vanderbilt would be really good. And then my number one is obviously Purdue. And that's because of their motorsports engineering program. You know, when I first was starting to think about it in high school, I was like, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I don't know about you, because I didn't know what I wanted to do my first couple years. And in high school, I was thinking about it because people were like, "Oh, you got to start thinking about it now in freshman and sophomore year." And I was like, I didn't know. Did you ever know what you wanted to do or no?
Like in terms of my major?
Yeah,
I'm kind of a rare example. I've known since I was 10 years old, so I'm probably not the best example, but I was thinking about it for a while and figuring out what would be the universities. As a film major, USC is kind of the big film school, but that's all the way in California. Luckily, UCF had it, and that was a school that not only was close to home, but somewhere that has history with our family because mom and dad are alumni of there. And so that's where I was able to figure out that that's where I wanted to go, and the film program has been incredible there. And I think Purdue has a specific program that no other college has for you, right?
Yeah, it's like I said, the motorsports engineering. And it was when I found out about it, it was like, this is literally perfect for me. I want to be a race car driver. And that was kind of what I was going to say earlier, was when I started in high school, I didn't know what I wanted, what major would be able to get me to that, right? Because there's no go to college, learn to be a race car driver, graduate and get signed. It's not like college football where I can, start in high school, play college football, and then get signed with a team in the NFL maybe and start a career there. It's racing's so different. You have to do a whole separate path, and I didn't know what to do. It was kind of weird. I was like, what am I going to do? What could get me close to that? And I thought it was mechanical engineering for a while. A lot of people in racing and the automotive industry have mechanical engineering degrees. It's a very versatile degree. But I think when I found out about the motorsports engineering degree, it kind of in its own unique thing, and I fell in love with it immediately. It was when I found out about it, I was like, this is where I need to go. This is what I need to do. It's it called out for me. It was literally perfect for me. I don't know if when you found your film writing major, it was this is literally it, but that's what it was for me. It was oh my word, I need this. This is what I'm meant to do, and I'm working towards getting that now. And Dad and I visited Purdue's campus in Indianapolis. That's where I would go and live in Indianapolis. It's literally 15 minutes from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Same day we went to the track. It was so cool. We had been there once, I think, with mom and dad, right? This is before Johan was born.
Yeah, sorry, Johan, you haven't been yet.
Yeah.
One day.
Yeah, we were really young. I guess I don't remember it. Mom and dad talk about it. I don't know if you remember it, but we were. I was a baby.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
I think you were a baby because I was super small. I think the big thing I remember is we went to the store that's the gift shop, and I got a little McDonald's sponsored IndyCar.
I still have it. I have it on I made it into a keychain.
So you're telling me that's actually yours, Sebastian?
Yeah, no. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because I got Danica Patrick. I just don't remember where that went. I think I lost the Danica.
We lost.
It was when she was with the...
she
had Motorola.
Danica IndyCar?
Yeah, it was a Danica IndyCar.
So
she had Motorola.
So it was the Motorola days.
Mm-hmm. I think she was in the 10 with Chip. I can't remember. I might be wrong, no.
I think
but she was in a black 10, and that's all I remember. I remember we had it. I don't know where that diecast went. That one's gone. But I still have the McDonald's one. I made it a keychain.
It was maybe the quest for the Danica.
If you end up going to Purdue, the family, though specifically me and Johan, will probably end up taking a bunch of trips up to see you and checking out the track. Maybe we can even go to the Indy 500 together.
Yeah, actually, that would be really cool. That was the other thing. When I found out about the program that Purdue offers, they're very. One of the things that I found really cool about Purdue is like your filmmaking degree, it's like you're actually on sets. Purdue is extremely hands-on. Like the motorsports engineering program has some classes in the Dallara factory, and Dallara makes the tubs and chassis for the Indy cars. They work on a lot of prototypes as well. They actually worked on the development of the next gen car. In some ways, they have a lot of ties with just racing around the globe. They're really big in like racing, like everywhere, and being able to work in that factory and have classes there and like get hands-on experience like that would be friggin' awesome. I mean, I can't get that at, like, no offense, I can't get that at UCF. Like, I would get a really good education from UCF, but like that hands-on work is something that comes with Purdue that I would be able to get like from there. I'm not going to be able to get something like that anywhere else, and that's just part of the things that was really attractive about the engineering motorsports engineering opportunity that they had at Purdue, and then the proximity to Indianapolis itself was super cool. I mean, the city-based location and then the racetrack being not too far away is awesome. Like literally a bike ride down. It's like a 15-minute drive from the Indianapolis campus. So just all that together, and then living in a prime city, and then there's the teams there too. I read up on like a lot of their students getting jobs after graduating, and even getting internships like with race teams like that stuff like that was so cool to me. I even read that some students had gotten opportunities to work on like drive for like NASCAR weekly series teams, like the Wheelin Weekly Series or late models, or maybe something even the Cars Tour, and just being around that is really awesome and would be such a cool and unique opportunity for me, and just something that I can't get anywhere else. I think a degree from another university, like UCF or like Vanderbilt or Georgia Tech or another school that I'm applying to, or Michigan, would be great. They have a lot of industry connections. Michigan's connected to Ford and General Motors, and that's Chevy in the Cup Series, or Cadillac in IMSA and WEC. And then Georgia Tech, it has connections with Porsche and Mercedes. They have headquarters in Georgia, or near Atlanta, Georgia, up there. So those are two of the biggest racing and automotive manufacturers in the world. They've got a lot of legacy and like history and stuff. So those schools provide me with those connections and those really like prestigious degrees and whatnot. But the attraction I have towards Purdue, and why that's become my number one, is just that hands-on work and that unique, undeniable opportunity of hands-on work and being right in the motorsports world as I'm being educated, which, hopefully one day helps me get to work on a race team or maybe even be a race car driver.
No, I mean, learning about the program, you had some interviews with some people in the sport of NASCAR themselves. Tell us about that, who you talked to and what it's about.
You sound like you're interviewing me on Fox or something. But no, it was cool. So we went to the Coke Zero Sugar 400 this year.
Our annual trip.
Yeah, that race is a mouthful, man. But we went down to Daytona again, and it was cool. We met Matt Swiderski, crew chief for Suarez, and then we also met Jonathan Hassler. There we go, crew chief for Ryan Blaney. And it was cool too, because I got to talk with them and interview them and ask them like where they went. They both went to Purdue. I had done research on both of them prior, and we had kind of tracked them down at the track and found them. And I got to speak with them and like ask them like, what was it like? What would you say about going to this program? Would you recommend it and going to Purdue? And they're like, oh yeah, absolutely. Both of them said that. And they both kind of told me to, volunteer and get involved and do things around there, like volunteer on local race teams, especially because they have the, Johan, what is it? It's the IRP.
The Indianapolis Raceway Park.
Yeah, race park, or whatever it's called, the short track over there. The trucks race there, but they also have a lot of like short track weekend racing there. So volunteering on a track like that would be really beneficial for me, and I'd get a lot of I'd get a lot of experience out of that. So they said do stuff like that, join like the Formula student clubs they have, which is something they have like at like every university, or not every, but a lot of universities. Like I know UCF has one. I'm pretty sure Vanderbilt has one. Purdue has one, Georgia Tech, Michigan. they all I think every school I'm applying to, UF and Boston College. Is that all of them? I think that I'm applying to.
I think that might be all of them.
Yeah, all 7 of them. Those 7, they have Formula SAE groups, so they like I'd be able to kind of like get experience working on a car and whatnot, and working with a bunch of people, which would be a dope experience. So yeah, they gave me really good advice, and getting to talk with like crew chiefs was really freaking cool. I think that's been like one of the most fun things with the podcast, is getting to meet the crew chiefs and the teams and the owners. Like we met Justin Marks. What was in Miami?
Many times actually. It was Nashville. I think one of them.
Nashville and Miami. But yeah, like getting to meet them and then the drivers. Like you and I met freaking Zilich. That was so cool. And I struck a conversation with Briscoe in Daytona too, which was cool. I was just asking him like how you feel about the race and whatnot, wrapping up. But it's just stuff like that. Like has made the podcast really fun. But sorry, going back to the focus, yeah, meeting those crew chiefs and hearing what they had to say about getting an education and using that to get into motorsports was very enlightening, and gave me a lot of hope and optimism for my future.
And what's funny is that those 2 crew chiefs, their drivers finished 1-2 at the end of the race.
That was a funny thing. I was joking earlier. I was like, can you imagine had I met Hassler first and then Swiderski? Swiatis would have won that race.
Maybe it's opposite, that Swiatis is getting pushed by Blaney.
Yeah.
Would have
been funny to see what that happen.
Now, what's great is that we had, not only did Gio have the opportunity to interview them, but we also recorded them. So we're going to play them back to back. First is the I feel bad.
Swiderski.
I feel terrible mispronouncing his name. We're going to show his interview, and then we're going to show Hasler's interview. Starting now.
Purdue University. I know they're having a campus in Indianapolis, and they have their motorsports program. Is that what you went through? Or
so West Lafayette, but I did just mechanical engineering.
Mechanical engineering?
Yeah, it wasn't a motorsport. I did some aerospace classes, and but had a mechanical engineering major.
Cool. What did you do at Purdue that like helped kind of get into racing, or was it afterwards?
So it was actually afterwards. I'd gotten into racing already. I raced a lot locally, just worked on super late model stuff, and ended up just going to Purdue to just kind of keep progressing, moving forward. I spent more time managing engineering groups before I decided to become a crew chief, so I figured getting more in depth on the engineering side would help out.
Cool. And then, do you have any advice for like a senior like me, trying to go to Purdue or university in general?
Yeah, if you want to get into motorsports, the biggest things are once you go to whatever school you go to, look for their Formula SAE program. They'll build a small race car, so you get some design experience there. And then it helps if you find like a local short track, volunteer, help out, get the hands-on experience. And then, as long as you go to a good mechanical engineering school from there, that'll be enough to get you in the door from there.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate your time.
No problem.
So I'm looking to attend Purdue University, which I believe you attended.
Yep.
I'm really interested in getting into motorsports, and I know they have their Indianapolis campus, which has the motorsports program. What would you recommend for somebody like me, a high school senior, trying to get into Purdue?
Definitely Purdue's the right place for motorsports for sure. I would try to find there's a lot of racing in the area away from school. I would try to find some team that needs some help, somebody to just sweep the floors and hang out and just learn the sport. It's definitely what I did. I raced a little bit myself when I was younger, which helped me a little bit, but definitely the smaller scale, whether it's a sprint car team or a late model team, or there's all kinds of racing in Indiana, so just get yourself involved in it in any way possible.
Cool. And what would you say really like helped you at Purdue, or would you say the program helped you get to where you are now?
The program definitely helped. The network at Purdue is huge, right? It's a big school. You can meet a lot of different people. You can find other people that have similar motorsports interests and do something with that because of that. So at Purdue, you'll also have like the formula programs. You got the Grand Prix karting stuff. All that stuff is good too. So there's tons of stuff. Just get involved with it.
Awesome. Thank you for your time. Good luck tonight.
Yeah. Thank you.
Have a good race. Have a good one.
Thank you.
It's pretty funny that whole interview with Hassler, like you guys were waiting for him, and like he was literally going on his way to like the drivers' meetings and stuff, and so you're like walking with him, and we're just trying to like follow and catch up and avoid running into people in the pit in the garage area.
Yeah, it was cool. I didn't want to hold him up. Because the race was going to start in like half an hour, I think, or something like that. So I wanted to get an interview or a chance to talk with him, and but still like not disturb him. So I asked him to go on the fly, and he was really cool about it, and we got to do it. I do want to say though, big shout out to Ryan Blaney's Jackman. His name was Jordan. We took a picture with him. He was freaking awesome. I spoke with him first. I was like, hey, do you know Jonathan Hassler, or where he would be? And he was like, yeah, here, I can probably help you out. And we waited a bit, and we waited around, and he eventually got us to have that interview with him. So big thank you to Jackman for the number 12, Jordan. He was really cool, really dope guy. Gave me some words of encouragement, and like really got me excited about this. Hopefully maybe I get to race in the Xfinity Series or something, or even the Cup Series, and have him as my Jackman, or I get to see him again, because he was a really nice guy, and part of the reason I even got to speak with Hassler. So just wanted to say thank you to him.
And as you can see, Gio's road from high school to college, it's been a fun one. A lot of universities, a specific one, although I'm still rooting for UCF.
Well, yep, Gio, we wish you the best of luck, and hopefully everything goes well in college.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited to see where I end up going. And if I stay here in Florida, obviously we'll keep doing this podcast together. If not, then I wanna, I go to school in Indiana or wherever else. I hope that I can continue to do the podcast with you guys. I know Purdue has like a podcasting club now, and they have like a location with like a lot of really good podcasting equipment. Or even I can take my own mic up and stuff and get to still do the podcast with you guys and record from home, because this stuff does mean a lot, and I'm really going to miss you guys. But yeah, thank you guys for being so supportive. I'm really excited to see which university I go to, and how I get to build my legacy there.
Thanks for sharing your college story. And Gio, why don't you take us out?
Yeah, thank you for tuning on in the Let's Racing Family podcast. It's a shorter episode. But yeah, thank you for listening on in and watching. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube, follow all of our socials, Instagram, TikTok, and yeah, Let's Racing Family out.